We made it. Oh my goodness. An adventure of trying to get this set up. But we made it. We're all in one piece. I was double checking. Let me just double check that I am not on preview mode, that I'm on live mode, and my audio's coming in, right, guys? Wait, there is a setting here. Just got to make sure. Okay, that setting's good. All right, go. So my audio should be coming in. I see my picture. My lighting's okay. Oh my gosh. Too many things to check. I actually did a lot of prep of trying to set up the stream because I put out that poll last night for a 10 a.m. stream or a 3 p.m. stream. And thank you guys, whoever jumped in there. I know Comrade Sammy put in her 2 cents about streaming at 10 a.m. and thank you for that. Unfortunately, that one didn't win it, but thank you for lobbying for that. But I had to prep last night to make sure I was somewhat like 80% ready for a stream at 10 a.m. And so I stayed up a little bit late doing all these kind of things. And then I just realized before I logged on for this stream that there's like 3 or 4 more things that I totally forgot. So as those trailers were playing, I was like scrambling to like get stuff set up and double check everything. And oh my gosh, it's a lot. I'm exhausted and we just started. So, and thank you guys. Thanks for being patient with me. Yeah, there was definitely some unforeseen things that happened. We had some people doing some work at our house and it went a little longer than expected, but as much as I didn't want to disappoint you guys as far as being on time, it gave me a chance to be outside a little bit with my family, with my kids. They both had the day off today, and so we got to have lunch and just kind of walk. It's a beautiful day today. Really clear skies, not a cloud in sight, no rain spitting at us, but it was really beautiful. The temperature is beautiful. It's a balmy, what's the temperature? Right now it's 61 degrees, which is pretty perfect, slight breeze. So yeah, it was nice. It was nice being out. And then right before I was going to be home in time to stream, but like I said, this work went a little bit longer. There was no way I would have been able to stream with all the noise going on. So we took a side detour, got to the library and checked out some books, and then got home, got settled, and then here we are. So thank you for everybody. I know Mark was Mark's Music Obsession was peeking in the community tab saying, "Hey, where are you?" So sorry for the delay. Speaking of which, Mark's Music Obsession storming here. First one in. Pow. Amazing. I love it. And as he crossed the finish line, looking over his shoulder, threw a shout out to Comrade Sammy right there, right behind him. Dadgummit. I guess Mark's name goes at the top this time. That's right. You guys are amazing. Mark's Music Obsession said, "Is it on?" And my stuff is stuck. You know what? It wasn't me. That's what I said in the chat. It wasn't me. It was something hitched with the stream. I don't know what it was, if it was still processing or whatever, but it wasn't me this time. It wasn't my technical boomerism. And Mark says, "Don't know the intro music, but glad you have cleared it. They are so bad about copyright on tunes." Yeah, it's true. I've found a few artists, few sites that carry license-free music, and actually YouTube itself does. I haven't totally dove into how it works with YouTube. Like, how do you get the music off of their, the ones that they say are license-free? Because they have a whole playlist of YouTube curates of license-free music. So I haven't looked at that yet. I just use these few sites, and I try and give them credits in. I'm pretty sure I put credits in my streams. If I don't, I should. That's part of the agreement. And I definitely do it at the end, the tag end of those videos for the comic book shops. Speaking of which, I know most of you guys saw the latest video, Comics Experience, that comic book shop. That video is live and now part of my intro. And I realized as I get more and more of these comic book shop spotlights that my intro is going to be really long. Is that okay? Is that okay? I mean, some people have super long, those people that have been on YouTube for a while, they have really long, some people have really long intros. And I don't know if the audience likes that or if that's okay. So let me know, guys, what do you think? If not, I can just rotate some of them out, and because there will be quite a few more. Like the next comic book shop that I am planning on filming at is called Mission Comics, and I'll probably go sometime next week to go film there and then edit it. It'd be nice if I can finish it by next week. I like getting these out like once a week. But anyway, that's the next one I'm trying to do. So that'll be 4. Then there's another shop called Isotope Comics. That's 5. And then there's a couple more stores, which I'm not totally familiar with, but they're definitely around that I want to go visit as well. So that there's at least 7, if not 8 in the city nearby. And then there's the outer Bay Area, like beyond the bounds of San Francisco, that have a few stores, some stores that are amazing. There's one store in particular in Berkeley. It's either Berkeley or Emeryville, very close to each other. That there's an incredible store there called Escapist Comics, and I'm looking forward to filming there. I haven't talked to them yet, but I'm pretty sure they'll be okay with that. So yeah, there's just a endless slew of stores that need to be promoted and that I want to promote, and just to kind of build up this local community and beyond of comic book stores. Mark's Music Session says, sounds good. Was decided before I saw the poll. Comrade Sammy says, it's International Women's Day, and I feel as if I deserve a gift. So if you could fork over your first in chat, Mark, that would be much appreciated. Of course. Aw, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh. Only kidding. You know what? Give me a sec. Well, I'll do it in a little bit. Yeah, where is John? Where is John? Where is that guy? He's got to be around here somewhere. We gave him ample time to show up. So where is he? He's probably hiding out on some other stream, having too much fun on another stream. I know Friday's a good day for streams. And I enjoyed the uploading stream that I did for... I think it was 2 weeks ago that I did an uploading stream with you guys. And I enjoyed it so much that I thought, I could do it again. I just finished editing the video I'm going to upload last night on top of all the other stuff. And so I was ready to upload it. And then I thought, I think I should do this on a stream because that was really fun. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. And maybe John will show up for that. Let's see. International. Oh yeah, that's right. International Women's Day. That's good. There's so many like days celebrating people. It's almost like you can't find a day where you don't celebrate somebody. So that's all good. Let's see. Oh, so what you guys will be first to. Yeah, where is John? He's late. You guys will be first to know that the video that I will be posting today is not about the comics that I got this week, although I did get a couple, and I'll probably be pushing to review them next week. But this week, I found a compilation of a series. It's a crossover series at my local library, and it was actually one that I had never read before. And when you find out what it is, which I'll reveal in a second, it's one of those where it's like, what? You never read that? And I didn't feel guilty for not reading it, but it was always in the back of my mind of like, if you say you like comics, kind of makes sense that you would read this particular series. but I never did. And for whatever reason, I would like think about it, not do it, just over the course of years and years. I mean, this came out in the early 90s, this series. And so I never read it, and then I just kind of forgot about it, and didn't really think anything of it. And it would pop up here and there over the last few years of, oh, maybe you should read that, and I just never got around to it. So finally, I found it in the library, which I love the library. I don't know how it is where you guys live, but our particular library is in the city, and I'm actually thinking that I want to try and contact somebody from the library department or association or whatever for our city, and just talk to whoever it is that curates our graphic novel section here in all the individual libraries, all the neighborhood libraries, because they have a fantastic selection, and you could go years without buying anything and just reading up on the comics that they have in our local libraries. So I really appreciate that. And same as I want to promote the comic book stores, I was thinking I want to try and figure out a way to promote the local libraries, specifically about how they carry comics. And each library, just like each comic book store I visit, has a different selection, different size selection. Some of the libraries have a huge, like our main library has a tremendous graphic novel section, and they carry very current stuff. And then some of them are smaller, some of them have more niche stuff. So it's kind of cool. They each have their vibe and feel to it. So anyway, that's where I found this series that I'm going to be reviewing, or that I reviewed for my Wednesday comics this week. And it was actually very fun because in reading the series, and I talk about this in the video, in reading the series, I realized like, oh, I really like this. This is actually really good. Why didn't I ever read this? So yeah, it was pretty eye opening, and I don't know if I changed or I just had these preconceived notions of what it was, but yeah, it was a kind of a fun exploration, and worthy to figure it out. You guys want to see what it is? I can show you. Hang on a sec. Where's John? Aha! Awesome one. Here you are. Are you alive? I am alive. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. It's a good day to be alive. Beautiful day today, as I was mentioning earlier, and lots to be thankful for. Primarily because it's a Friday and the weekend is upon us. I'm very excited about that. All right, this. Here's the sneak peek. This is what I'd never read before. Whoops. Sorry. Death of Superman. Did you guys read this? Did any of you guys read this? You would think that the Death of Superman would be an important enough series to read, and I just didn't. So I kind of poo-pooed on it, and I mentioned this in the video, but I grew up a Marvel boy, so that was part of it. I never really connected with Superman that much as a character, so that was another kind of part of it. Apart from like the original Superman movies, I was not a big Superman fan. So, but Death of Superman, that was a huge tentpole event in comics. It was all over the news, everything. And I just never read it. So I feel kind of, like I said, not ashamed, but just like, you should probably read it. And I did. Okay, so what we're going to do today is similar to the last uploading, and I'll love to talk with you guys. I'll just keep chatting, and you guys feel free to throw out any questions or conversations you have this fine Friday. Let me know what you thought of the last video that I did, the comic book video, comics experience video. Let me know any comic information you have, but I'm also going to literally upload this video. And so let's make sure I got it all set up. Nothing's blown up. But yeah, I'm going to upload this video while we talk and chat, and Whoops. Let me make sure. Ooh. Oh no, not that video, not there. Renders. Uploading here. I'm gonna have to get all the description. You guys know the drill. Awesome one says, the death of coupons. Is that what they called it? Let's see. Okay, let's see. Select one of your previous videos to reuse the details. I guess I'll pick one of my older My Wednesday comics. This one? Sure. Sure. Sounds good. We'll change the date. What have you guys been watching? Oh, it's not 4:30. I'm looking at the time, not the date. What have you guys been watching lately? I've been really into Unhinged YouTube channel. I had mentioned that the last time I streamed. Was it the last time I streamed? But his YouTube channel was, he has, for those of you who don't know, Unhinged work. Wow, that's a hard thing to say. I think he has a book coming out right now called Absolute. Is it The Death of Superman? Let me double check that. Superman, The Death of Superman? Or is it just Superman, The Death of Superman? We're just going to call it The Death of Superman. And anyway, I've been really into his YouTube channel. And he posts like 4 to 5 minute videos of him drawing. And it's fascinating. I love kind of his passion for what he does. And again, embracing the story of him as a creator and his eye issues that he deals with. So yeah, I've been checking those out. Okay, let's see. Death of Superman, My Wednesday Comics. These will all change somehow, something. Just do that for now. Next. We'll do that later. Next. We will call this public. All right, it's uploading now. 13%, 17 minutes left. Plenty of time. We got plenty of time. Yeah, I've been watching his stuff. There is a, what do I call him? He's kind of he's a YouTuber, but he does like, I don't want to say life coaching, but kind of these work streams. His name's Heinz. I've been like watching his stuff. I think I'd mentioned to you guys before, he has this really chill vibe about him, and he talks very quietly, and he'll just sit there and work and do streams of him working, and there's the chat going on, and then he'll converse with the chat every now and then start working again. He'll set a timer, similar to how I was doing my secret draw streams. It's kind of where I got the inspiration to do something like that. So I've been watching that stuff. The fun thing about YouTube Shorts that I've been doing. So I started kind of branding the YouTube Shorts. And let me know, you guys, in the chat. Let me know do you guys get notifications every time I post a YouTube Short? Or is that a separate thing? I didn't know how that works. I know you get notifications for like streams or videos that I upload, but I didn't know if YouTube Shorts sends notifications as well. But those, in particular, I kind of rebranded those as, they used to just be tied with My Wednesday Comics, and I would just do shorts on comics, little 15-second shorts on comics that I'd pick up on a weekly basis, but I didn't want to review in a full review, whether that was because I had already done a review on a previous issue and I just wanted to highlight it for the short, or I didn't think it was worth spending the time reviewing it, or it was an older comic that I didn't pick up that week but was in my collection. So just different reasons that I experiment with using them as YouTube shorts. And they're really easy for me to make. They're very fast. It takes me about 15 minutes to make one YouTube short. And I'll post them. I just saw your... Okay, Mark's Music Session says, I don't think I do get notifications on shorts. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Then I don't even know. Maybe the traffic that comes from YouTube shorts is just from the shorts, like when you, on your homepage on YouTube, when you're just the shorts feed that they send out. I have no idea. But actually, I know he's not in the chat, but Cranberry Langers, he comments on quite a few of the shorts that I do. So there must be some way that he gets notification on it, unless he's always hunting on my shorts tab. Because I do have a tab on my channel that that says shorts. Like here, I can close this, right? Yeah, keep this browser tab open, but I think I can close that menu. Yeah. So yeah, this tab here, shorts. Oh wait, maybe I don't want to close this because I might. Can I open another window? Yeah, I can open another window. So when you go to my channel here, yeah, like shorts, you can go in this tab shorts and you can see all these shorts that I've posted already. So I don't know if that's how he's seeing them or if it's going into his feed, whatever. So right here, this one here, Clobberin' Time 2. So I've been reviewing this series. There's 5 issues. I just posted 4 about a couple hours ago. But there's 5 issues of it. And this particular one, Clobberin' Time number 2, it's got like 8,000 views. Granted, you don't know what that means as far as YouTube algorithm and like, are those really views or are those people just swiping by? They give you some statistics on it, but not, you really don't know. It's really random. But that one is by far the highest views I've gotten on a video. And usually when I'll post a short, it'll also get people new followers, which is really cool. And it's fun because it's very little effort for me to do and quite a bit of return as far as views and as far as, you know, subscribers. So, so yeah, I have been enjoying trying those out and just kind of experimenting with those. And the challenge for me, so what I'll do is, if you haven't seen them, I'll kind of film the comic book, pages from the comic book just to show it. And then I'll do a voiceover in 15 seconds with the title and the artist and the writer, and then try and just sum up the book in 15 seconds. And it's a lot harder than you would think, but it's been fun because it just forces you to be concise and kind of boil it down to the bite-size candy bar that that the comic book is. So why did I bring that up? I don't know why I brought that up. Wait, awesome one says notifications are iffy. I usually only get about 5 a day and they all seem random on who they are fun. Yeah. Mark's Music Obsession says, I always see them in my suggestions feed, but not sure about Nova. Okay, so maybe it just suggests them. But yeah, so I don't know. This particular one, number 2, it wasn't even number 1, got so many views and like 8,000 views, which is a lot for me. And I was like, cool. So I've just been doing them. I'm going to do up to number 5. I just posted number 4, issue number 4 for that one. And I'm going to do number 5 and just kind of see how it goes. But that's been pretty fun. Oh, that's why I brought it up. I rebranded them. So they were initially tied with My Wednesday Comics, which was my thing. But now I call them My 15-Second Comics because I just want people to start knowing it as like, oh yeah, those are the 15-second comic reviews that guy does. So yeah, I've done quite a few. How many have I done here? Let's see, that's 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 5, 35 of them so far. Not bad. But pretty fun. Okay, this is still uploading. Cool. Oh, okay. Next on the docket, Mark's Music Obsession says, based on the numbers on that one video I posted, I guess I'll put one up occasionally. Yeah, do it. Do it. Totally. And you can also like edit down. I've seen some people do this. They edit down content that they've already done to whatever length. I don't know what the max length it is that you can do a short. The shortest length you can do is 15 seconds. But the max length, I want to say, is at least a minute, if not more. I mean, it is a short, right? So, but what you could do, Mark, is you can like just take a 15-second clip or a 30-second clip of that video that you posted already and just try it out. I use YouTube's built-in tools to do it. They're relatively easy to use, and I didn't want the videos to be so complicated that it was a whole nother production. So yeah, they're pretty easy to use. YouTube's the mobile app, I think it's called YouTube Studio, but there's also an app that a lot of people are using called CapCut, which I've used it a few times. It's a little bit more complicated and janky than YouTube's app. YouTube's app, but it's just because they give you a lot more bells and whistles and options. But the reason that I would recommend using CapCut is, I don't know if you guys have watched like TikTok videos or Instagram Live or Instagram Reels or even YouTube Shorts, when people have like the words automated pop on, like subtitles. So CapCut does that, and the YouTube app does not, at least not now. So that was the only reason that I really was exploring using CapCut. I know a lot of people use that app. And my last stream, I was talking about this one YouTube couple that I watch pretty frequently, named Tom Buck and Heather Martinez. They are both individual YouTube creators, but they happen to be married, and sometimes they'll do like couples things together. They focus on like content creation. Tom Buck focuses more on like technology reviews, and Heather Martinez is more like YouTube content creation and kind of vlog stuff. Both great creators, and I had mentioned to them about, was on one of their chats and mentioned to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, do you use CapCut?" And so even them, they're kind of exploring the whole thing. As far as, at the end of the day, it was like, whatever tool you need to use for the content that you're producing, use it. Don't just use CapCut because everybody's using CapCut. Mark says the original is 7 minutes and 44 seconds. It's just under 3,700. That's great views now. So is the logic a short will draw more people to the original? Yes. I mean, logic is an interesting word, because I feel like, and from what I've garnered and know about content creators, is nobody really knows. They have ideas about the algorithm, and there are some tried and true thoughts, but we really don't know. Because to be honest, if you think about it, YouTube is giving you analytics. As a creator, YouTube gives you analytics on everything. Like, they give you amazing breakdowns on analytics, and it shows you what's working, what's not. Focus on this, focus on that. This is the time of day, blah, 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 blah. All these kind of like, so granular, the analytics they give, which is incredible. But if you are, if you're like me and kind of cynical and don't believe everything at face value, YouTube could be telling you anything. They could just be making up analytics to drive you to do things a certain way. And you think like, oh yeah, this is how, because I'm gaming the algorithm and I'm kind of working it so that, working it to build my channel, but they could be driving it to whatever direction they want. So if they want more shorts content on their website, they can be saying, hey, your shorts content is gaining you all these followers and likes and blah, blah. So make more short content. And the truth of the matter is, it might be, but also it could be they're just kind of gaming you to create content the way they need content, because they want to compete with TikTok and Instagram Reels and all that kind of stuff. So I'm always kind of skeptical. As much as I love the analytics, I'm always kind of skeptical of, are you really telling me what what it really is? Or are you telling me what I want to hear so that I do what you need me to do? I'll tell you these funny stories. It reminds me of this funny story. Somebody told me this is like an urban legend. I don't know if it's true or not, but I like to believe that it is. But somebody told me there's two main highways that run down the peninsula from San Francisco, and most of the huge tech companies like Google and Facebook and what's the other one? Like all those tech companies, Apple, they're all down the peninsula from us. So what I heard, and again, this is an urban legend, but I heard that the original engineer, so there's two main highways. There's 101 and 280, and they both go south. And what 101 notoriously has a lot of traffic because it passes by, it's a bigger highway. It passes by the airport, and it kind of passes by all the main cities as you go down the peninsula. Running parallel to that is Highway 280, and it goes a little bit more towards the coast, and it's a gorgeous drive because you're kind of driving in the hills, and you pass by this like water reservoir. It's just a lot more scenic of a route, and it's amazingly usually there's not that much traffic on 280, but they're going pretty much in the same direction. So like if you're going to work at, say, Google, you can take either highway, probably get there at the same exact time, but 101 is always jammed, always has traffic, and because a lot of highways merge there, and for the other reasons I'd mentioned. So the urban legend I heard was that the original engineers from Google that designed Google Maps, that they baked into the map program to direct traffic to go on 101 so that they could commute on 280 and that their commute would never have traffic. Is that not crazy? Because when you think about it, we like turn on the apps, we don't even second guess it. We're just like, oh, okay, Google Maps tells me it's going to be faster to go this route, so I'm going to go this route. And even though this doesn't make sense, I'm just going to go this route because that's what Google Maps tells me, right? They have all the knowledge, all the analytics, all the data, all the AI, whatever, telling me this is the fastest way to go. And you would never know the better, even if they are taking you on a route so that the engineer's commute will be faster to get you off their highway. You would never know. You would be like, I guess this was the faster route, unless two of you drove from the same location at the same time and mapped it out on your own. You would never know. So I always thought that was an amazing story and kind of a crazy story, but I guess that's part of the thinking of, I'm thinking like with YouTube analytics, I'm like, is this the true analytic, or is this just what you guys are feeding us so our behavior shifts more towards what you need us to create for YouTube? TikTok about to be banned. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I could never do TikTok. I really couldn't. It took a lot for me to try this YouTube thing, and I genuinely enjoy it and love it now. Like, I'm sold. But TikTok, every time I like look at that app or see things on that app, I'm like, I feel like I'm standing in the middle of Times Square with like all the neon signs and all the traffic and noise, and I'm trying to find like a needle in a haystack in that like stream of stuff. Like, I don't get it. And then inevitably, like a couple swipes in, I'm like, I didn't want to see that, or why are you showing me that? Like, yeah, I can't stand TikTok. It's crazy. Awesome One says, when we go through Nashville, they tell you take the loop when it's faster going interstate. Gone are the days that we trust our instincts when it comes to directions anymore. My kids don't even. I tell them that they think I'm crazy when I would say, we had to used to pull out like a huge map and just unfold it and like yell at each other as we were trying to drive to get to where, and try and memorize directions to try and get in where. They don't live in that world anymore. All right, so let's see. Oh, okay, so let's see. We've got 5 people watching now. I think it's cool. Because I have something to show you guys that I need your opinion on. And maybe I'll just throw it up here and you guys vote, and we'll leave it up here to see. We'll leave it up for a little while so that in case other people come in. But what I wanted to get your guys' opinion on is thumbnails. So this is the death of Superman, right? And there's 2 very iconic images for the death of Superman, and I couldn't decide on which thumbnail to go with. So which one do you guys think? I'd love to know. Number 1 is, oops, we're mirrored. Number 1 is this one, the one with the cape on the pole in the middle of the city. An incredible image, really tragic. And then number 2 is this one with the bloody S symbol. Yeah, when I thought I knew which one I liked, I would look at the other one. I'm like, but that one's really cool too. So let me know what you guys, let me know in the chat what you think, 1 or 2, what you vote, and I'll take it in consideration. And like I said, maybe we can leave it up here for a little bit. My head's in this tiny circle the whole time. Yeah, it's okay. We can leave it up here for a little bit for other people to look at if they come in. Yeah, it's kind of weird that my head is that small for the extent. I can make it bigger. All right, people are already talking about it. Mark's Music Obsession says the one on the pole is better in my opinion. Okay, we got 1 for 1. I'm gonna give myself a chart here. So we got 1 vote, and for 2. Awesome one says the yellow one captures my eyes. The one on the left, yep. And then Comrade Sammy says, I say the one on the right. Okay, so we got 2 for 1 and 1 for 2. All right, awesome. We'll see how that goes if anybody else pops in here and votes on it too. But yeah, I mean, I like both of them. I really do. I heard too, not to get too much into YouTube content creation because that's not really what this channel is about, but it is kind of my journey. Apparently YouTube, so one of the big videos that everybody talks about is thumbnails and your thumbnail descriptions. Those are the big factors of like, oh, you can, increase people watching your stuff if you have a better thumbnail and a better title or whatever. So that's always in the back of my mind, and I don't want to be driven by that. I mean, I think it is kind of the people have seen the results from it, but at the same time, I'm like, that's dumb. It's totally random. I don't want to shoot me down or unsubscribe from my not so extreme. Unsubscribe from my channel if I start posting videos or thumbnails of videos of a cutout of my head on it going, ooh, read comics. Like, I hate that stuff. I totally hate it. And probably because the YouTube market is incredibly saturated with that. But I just think they're dumb. I don't like it. It's the whole Mr. Beast methodology into it. And granted, that dude's incredible. He's amazing. He does amazing things. He has built an entire empire on YouTube, but you have a million copycats of that, and I just think it's not creative. It's just silly. So, but anyway, because that's such a huge part of content creation on YouTube, and it makes sense. You got to catch people's attention. There's a lot of things that people can be watching out there. And for them to start watching what you've got, you got to catch their attention immediately. So I get that. But so one of the things they're baking into the YouTube studio is a way of testing different thumbnails for the same video. And then you can see performance-wise, based on the thumbnails, how a video does, which is pretty amazing. They call it in the tech world, they call it A/B testing, and there's many programs and apps that you can A/B test all sorts of things, whether that's like a website name or an image that you use or whatever. You can A/B test and see what's the most effective. So YouTube apparently is doing that for thumbnails as well, so that it's baked in and you can do a couple thumbnails and then try them out, and it'll show thumbnail A to a portion of your audience, and it'll show thumbnail B to another portion of your audience, and then you can see which one does better than the other. I don't have that yet, and I don't know if it's released to tiny creators like myself or if it's just for the big creators, but I don't have that yet. So I thought, hey, I'm going to ask the chat. They'll give me their opinion. Also, one says red and yellow makes people want to eat fast and a lot, hence the McDonald's color if red and yellow. That's a good thinking. That is a good thinking. It's like that psychological Pavlov's dog or something like, yeah, just kind of, oh, huh, I got to look at that one because McDonald's. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, let's see. Let's check. Let me check and see. Where are we at with this video? This video, oh, is it ready? Processing. Oh, cool. We can watch some of it. Okay, let me upload the thumbnail. Well, actually, we haven't decided the thumbnail yet, so I can't upload the thumbnail. Well, yeah, I'll hold on uploading the thumbnail. Or let's see. Well, what I'll do is I'll upload the oh. Hey, Mr. Monkey Boy, maybe you can chime in here. Maybe you'll tip the scales, or you might tie it up for us. So I was just asking the chat, which thumbnail do you like best? This is so the episode of My Wednesday Comics that I'm uploading is about the death of Superman, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a second. But I'm debating which thumbnail is best. So what's your vote? We've got 2 votes for the one on the left here. This one. We've got 2 votes for the one, the like cape on the stick. And then we've got 1 vote for the bloody S. Which one do you like? And if you say bloody S, then we're going to be tied. Just saying. What's up? How are you doing? Mr. Monkey Boy says the one on the right. Okay. We are tied now, folks. Which is cool. This is kind of what I was struggling with. I thought both of them were impactful. And so now we got to get one more person in here to break the tie. Okay, so I'll skip posting the thumbnail right now. People just have to see my silly face. Should I put my face as the thumbnail? The temporary thumbnail, maybe? Oh, no, I'll do this one. This one, you can see Superman. And we'll save it. I think my wrap-up is way later than this. This is a longer video. Oh, and one thing I saw recently, and let me know, you guys in the chat, if you saw this too. Comrade Sammy says, wow, did you guys know Rocky posted a new video? I had no idea. Awesome. Yes, call Shanth. Shanth needs to come in here and break the tie. Will someone break the tie drama? Yeah, I already uploaded. It already automatically uploaded. I didn't even have to hit save and already uploaded. Yep. Okay, well, I'm going to save it with this different thumbnail though first, and then we'll switch it. Or yeah, I can't. Or you know what? I'm a little anal this way. I'm going to what I'll do is I will post I'll post the first thumbnail first. We'll sit with this one. And then just so that they don't have to look at an ugly thumbnail. And then if the vote changes, I'll switch it out. I can always switch it out after the fact. But thanks for letting me know that it's already uploaded. Let's see. Dashboard. Channel, let me see. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's the new thumbnail. All right, so yeah, he needs to break it voting for the left one. Awesome. Money may or may not have to be involved. Awesome one says John is not on Diaz Brothers. Huh. Nice sleuthing. Where is that guy? He's got to be somewhere. Maybe John was... No, it was Comrade Sammy that voted for 10 a.m. show. Interesting. Where is John? Where in the world is John? So, okay, so that's uploaded. Awesome. And what I can do... Well, let's watch... If you guys don't mind, let's watch a little bit of it. And it's... I don't know if any of you guys have read The Death of Superman. Mr. Monkey Boy says, geez, just got home and already being grilled. Oh, boy. You mean John is or you are? I hope everything's okay. People are just hunting, looking for this guy, John. Where is he? If any of you guys have watched Superman, read The Death of Superman, let me know what you thought about it. I go into this in the video. There I am. It always shows up. The freeze frame always shows up with a very inopportune face. Where in the world is John San Diego? You read my mind. So what I go into in the video is a little bit of what I shared just now, as far as I never read this as a kid growing up. And I think one of the big reasons was I was so into Image Comics. So 92 was the year that Death of Superman came out. And that was the same year that Image Comics formed. So I'm wondering, they must have been planning Death of a Superman for a while, but the timing of that is not lost on me. Like, how is it? Did they come out with Death of a Super? Did they launch that to compete with, because they knew they were going to have some big time competition with the guys that formed Image? I don't know. Or did Image decide to form Image because they knew Death of Superman was coming out and that there would be a lot of eyes on it? I don't know. But it's pretty amazing that 92, in the year of 1992, that's when it all happened, which is also crazy to think that was 32 years ago. Ooh. Oh, wait, 8 plus 24 is 32, right? Yes. That was 32 years ago. That is crazy. Mr. Monkey Boy says, I know the comic's worth nothing. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And you know, I know collectors were going crazy when that book came out. They had like a polybagged version, the all black with that black S, the bloody S on it. And there's people that bought it and they didn't open it. They bought several copies. And I think they just oversaturated the market. But all of that to say, like, I never jumped into reading it and I never got into it. And I was so tuned into what they were doing at Image Comics that I wasn't really keen on anything about Superman at the time. It wasn't what I was like excited about. Why are you watching me? Let me change this. 3. Oh, okay. That's a little better. Mark's Music Obsession said, sadly, I purchased it, but bagged and sleeved it without reading it. Also not a huge Superman fan. Bought tons of the original Image #1s. There you go. That's great to know, too, Mark. I wasn't sure, like, what your comic, where your comic interests lay. I mean, I've heard you talk a little bit about some of it, but that's awesome just to hear that you were right there with the Image books. 8 plus 24, math. I'm actually pretty good at math, but when you have to worry about a million other things and not screwing up the stream, it's hard to do. So yeah, I never really read it. Let me play the intro. I'll play the intro here. We'll watch a little bit of it, and so that I'm not being redundant, but you guys will see what this video is about. So let me play the intro here. Let me know if it's playing okay. You guys can hear it okay. 2. Jeez Louise. So this is going to be a special episode because I'm going to be talking about a mini series that I should have read when I was growing up, loving comics, but I never did. And I just recently found the same series in the library, picked it up, read it, and I really enjoyed it. So I kind of want to dissect why I didn't read it that first time around and look at it a little bit more closely on this episode of My Wednesday Comics. So the series I'm talking about is The Death of Superman. I never read it. I don't know why. Granted, I grew up loving Marvel more than DC all my childhood, so that's probably a big reason. But I mean, come on, it's Superman, for Pete's sake. So I don't know why. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this video, is to kind of dissect my brain. I don't know if it was the art style, the character I wasn't attached to, but I just had no desire to read the book. But the surprising thing is, when I read it just recently, I really enjoyed it. So I'm totally confused, but I think there's probably some key factors in there, and let's look at it closely and figure this out. Okay, are we ready for this? The Death of Superman. Again, this is a benchmark moment in comics, and it was something that I totally skipped as a kid. This was in 1992, I believe, is when this first came out. And so this is at the height of Image Comics and kind of the fever that was building up. And I think that honestly was a big reason I was distracted from what was going on. But what I do remember is there was definitely a heightened excitement about this issue coming out from collectors because they knew it was a big deal. So getting your hands on one was going to be a big deal. And for somebody like me, who at the time was a kid, I wasn't even sure if I would be able to get my hands on one because I didn't have access to local comic book store at the time and my own money. And so yeah, I didn't even know if I could get my hands on an issue. Little did I know that the Mr. Monkey Boy was saying, the whole market would be flooded and everybody would have one, and it would be too. I think I did pick up one. I just don't have I don't have all my childhood comics here with me as an adult, so I don't know where that one would be, but I'm pretty sure I either picked up this issue or I picked up the one where he came back. Wasn't that one like polybagged white? I vaguely recall that one too. Mr. Monkey Boy says, look at the comments. The comments, oh boy. Oh, so what happened in that blooper was I was actually trying out a different figure behind me. I have the Gorillas figures behind me right now. The Kid Robot version of the Gorillas figures behind me. And I was trying out a different figure. Here, I'll show you guys this. This is the fun of live stream. Hang on one second. So I was going to try out another figure back there. Let me switch cameras. So I have this figure. Can you see that? This is an awesome Marv Sin City figure. Let me hold it on this side. And the designer on this figure is a guy by the name of, Eric So. He's a Hong Kong urban vinyl designer, and he was super huge when urban vinyl was a thing. I mean, I think he's still popular, but he was really big in the Hong Kong toy market. And so he did this version of Marv from Sin City, and I totally had to get it. So I love it, and it's up on one of my shelves, and I was just looking at the toys that I have right now there with the Gorillas one, and I love them, but I was like, oh, what if I change it out and put a different toy? And so I was trying to have Marv back there, and then when I hit go on the record for this latest stream, it just collapsed like that, and it scared me, and so I thought it was funny, and I kept it in. Here, I'll show you if I can get this off. I was even talking to my buddy, Michael So also did, I actually have this great, he did a Michael Jordan figure that I have, really great figure. And then he also did this awesome, if you guys, I'm sorry, not Michael So, Eric So. If you look up Eric So, geez, how do I get this off? Do I twist it? It's the worst sound in the world. Trying to take off his jacket, and it's just this sleeve. This is gonna go bad. If you look up Eric So Hellboy, like on eBay, he did a great Hellboy. It's really expensive though. Oh my gosh, I don't want to break this. I was gonna take off his jacket, but it's cool because when you take off his jacket, these arms stay on. It's not like the arms come off or in the jacket, but he has arms underneath. But just take my word for it. It's pretty cool. It's a cool figure. He's got like these little band-aids and stitches. I just don't want to break it. I don't know why it's not coming off easily. So, but he's not super stable, and he toppled over. So I went back to the Gorillas. Comrade Sammy says, need help over there? Yes, I always need help. My friend Lang, he watches my channel, and he's also a geeky comic booky guy. His big thing is toys. He loves designer toys, and that's his collector vice a little bit. So I told him, hey, maybe I should have you on, and then we can kind of spin off and just start talking about some of the toys. He's really big into Legos too. So I don't know, Lang, if you're watching, let's do it, man. Let's talk about toys and Legos. It's fun. I used to collect a lot more toys than I do right now, but I don't have any more space because my office is in my home now. So I used to have a bigger studio space, and I could display them all over the place and stuff, but I don't have that much space anymore. So I just have very, very choice few toys. I have a really cool Mike Mignola Batman statue. Some of you guys might have seen that. I have a Wonder Woman statue. Yeah, just some cool stuff. Maybe I'll show those another day. Where was I? Okay, wait. Okay, so the video. Blah, we got that. Okay, let's watch a little bit more and see where we go. Back to this. All right. And I was more of a Marvel guy. So anything from DC really had to catch my attention. Now, this is the death of Superman, so you'd think this would catch my attention, but it didn't. The amazing thing about this series here is that it is woven in through several titles of DC that are related to Superman. Superman, the Man of Steel, Justice League America, Superman proper, The Adventures of Superman, and then Superman in Action Comics. So that's a lot of titles to interweave a crossover. Marvel did that with Fall of the Mutants and Inferno and Mutant Massacre. So it's not like I wasn't familiar with that concept, but you definitely had to be a serious collector to get all the pieces of the puzzle. Probably another reason why I didn't try. I knew that if I just got the one issue where Superman dies, which I think I did get, that I probably wouldn't be able to get the full story. So that might have been another detractor of me reading this. There's a whole bunch of writers here. Sorry, I'm going to get the time code of when I start the wrap up just so I can put that in the description too. Stream Comics. So there you go. 4134. Where should I do this? Okay. 4134. Yeah. So one of the cool things that let me upload this really quick and then I'll talk about it. Or I'll talk about it and then I'll play a little bit. But one of the cool things, well, maybe it's not cool, but 4134. One of the things I did in this video is I was looking at some of the panels because I was just talking about this one series. It gave me a little bit more time to go in depth. We'll see how people like that or not. I know these tend to be a little bit long-winded. Oh, that was one of the things I was going to ask you guys. I actually started seeing ads play in front of some of my content, and that's a good sign. I mean, I never like ads, and it's not like I'm getting paid or anything like that. I don't have anywhere near enough followers to get any kind of monetization, but I started seeing some ads in front of my content, which is a good sign, I think, from what I've researched, that the algorithm is starting to see that, like, oh, people are watching your stuff and you're garnering eyeballs. So, hey, we're going to put some advertising on it, which was pretty cool. That was the first time I was like, yay, I get ads, because usually I'm just skipping through those things. But what I was going to say was, because I was just focused on this one series, Death of Superman, some of the things, like, I was trying to figure out why. The whole purpose of this video was to find out why I didn't read it the first time through, and what, if anything, was keeping me from reading it. And in the process, I was dissecting some of the storytelling elements that they had, or some of the storytelling choices that they did, and said, like, oh, you know what? If they just only tweak this, it could have been a stronger moment or whatever. So let me know. I'm going to fast forward to one of those spots, and let me know what you guys think of that, if you liked that. So here's a certain part. I was talking about a particular panel framing that they did, and I'll show you in the middle of it. This is a great interaction here. A truck comes and, the driver sees Doomsday crossing the street. He's like, hey, wait, get out of the way. And then the truck rams into Doomsday. I feel like this would have benefited from a side angle. Got a little pad here. But this could have benefited from just making this more of a profile shot. I love the dynamic angle that Bogdanov picked to draw, but I feel like Doomsday gets really jammed in there in the back, and you don't get to see, like, kind of the effect of and the size and proportion of what's going on. So if they did it more like a side angle, and then there's like huge sound effect or whatever, I feel like that could have been a little bit clearer what was going on. So then this next issue is, what do you guys think of that? Did you like that? Like that kind of commentary on stuff like that? Like, I don't like to necessarily, like, overly critique. Sometimes I just like to appreciate the work for what it is, good, bad, and otherwise. Like I kind of like to appreciate whatever it is the artists or the authors are trying to accomplish, and my own reaction based on the choices they make. But there's certain things in this particular case I was like, oh, if they just tweak this a little bit and adjust this a little bit, it could have been a little bit stronger, and maybe that would have helped with some of the storytelling moments. So I don't know if you guys like that kind of stuff. It's also, secretly, it's also a way of me trying to figure out how comfortable I am drawing on stream and talking at the same time while I'm doing it. Like, again, that's like a walking and chewing gum kind of thing for me. So normally when I'm drawing, I'm not talking. I'm just in a hole, like listening to music or watching a show or something, mostly listening to music when I draw. So having to articulate and draw and talk at the same time, something like Shant is really good at that, I think, because of his teaching days. But that's something that I have to build up a skill. So what do you guys think? Comrade Sammy says, too bad John isn't here. I'm having chicken noodle soup for dinner. Maybe it's good that he doesn't know that. He'd feel jealous. I did that in another part of the video too. Let's see, where was that? I think it was like a punch or something. Oh yeah, here. Here's another one. Here's another example. This is an awesome moment of an explosion, and I just feel like the framing is off. If they just redrew this, here's the tripping foot, fire. Guy trips on the wires. You see the spark, right? And then this explosion should be centered. You can have the little silhouettes that they have flying. These silhouettes here in the middle. And the buildings here blowing up or whatever. But it's all the way here out to the edge, which was a really weird choice, I thought. It's like the center part here is the smoke, and I don't know, it just felt odd. Here's another odd framing. I love the posing, but I didn't really pick up on what was going on until I looked closely, and he's stabbing with his bony protrusions, his elbow bone. He's stabbing Superman in the gut, which is awesome. But yeah, it just felt really, it didn't read totally with the framing of that pose. That was a really weird panel for me. It would look like Superman was hugging Doomsday at that point, and I was like, what is going on? Oh, he's stabbing him in the gut with his elbow. It's a little bit too much. I didn't do a drawing for that one, but I should have, because I feel like they could have cleared that up just with the posing a little bit. So yeah, I tried to do, I think I did another moment later with that, another drawing. And I actually like the pen that I used for it. It made a nice sound. Talk about ASMR. It made a nice sound as I was drawing. But yeah, it was fun. I don't know. I'm going to try and maybe do more stuff like that. Try and figure out a best way to do it. Like, speaking of Unhinged, like his videos, he'll pre-record. I might do something like this because it made a lot of sense to me, and I think it's something I could kind of incorporate or feel more comfortable as a start. He pre-records his videos of him drawing and kind of speeds them up, and then he'll do a voiceover on it afterwards, so that it's not like he's talking and drawing at the same time. He's just drawing, and then he talks over the drawing and then edits together. And I thought that was pretty cool. It was kind of a nice compromise between the two. But like somebody like Shant can paint and talk very deep philosophical issues at the same time. I couldn't do that. I would just stumble over myself all the time and spill paint everywhere. And it's hard enough for me to draw without having to wax and wane political or philosophical. Okay, let's see. Let me just check the upload. let's see. Did you guys, one of the books I got, oh, not comments, content. One of the books I got, is it still processing HD? Is it? Usually it tells me. Oh yeah, it's still processing HD. It'll probably take a while. 29 minutes left. Look at all this cool data that YouTube gives you. It's pretty awesome. 29 minutes left. Then it'll look nice. And we're still tied in the votes. Everybody that's here has already voted. So what are we gonna do? How are we gonna decide? One of the books that came out this week, I wonder if I should mention it here, because I do kind of want to keep it. Yeah, I don't know if I'll mention it here. I do kind of want to keep it for next week's My Wednesday Comics. It's a little bit controversial. When it came out, when it was advertised, it's a new book. When it was advertised, everybody was excited about it because this particular creator is really hot right now and very popular. They've done a lot of very original stuff. They work for the big companies, Marvel in particular. They've done a lot of like covers and variant covers and just a very hot artist. And so they gave them this series to work on. And the first issue came out this past week. And then a lot of people who saw it were really angry with it because they feel like it's for an existing, it's for an existing IP. It's not like a new character or anything like that. So it's an existing IP, but they revamped it to the point where people are like, this is not what we were expecting at all. So I've watched some very angry reviews and I'm like, it's just one issue. It just came out. Like, give it a second. But there's a lot of people who are very incensed about it. So yeah, I'll see. But so I wanted to talk about it. Like I said, I'll probably push it to next week to talk about on My Wednesday Comics. Also, one says, I made hamburger patties for burgers. You guys are such cooking aficionados. Chicken, hamburgers. It's all grilled cheeses. Speaking of grilled cheeses, hello, Comrade Sammy. John is here. All right, John, perfect timing. You are not first, not this time. So there's that. But we need to break a tie. And the tie that we need to break, John, is to pick the thumbnail for the next My Wednesday Comics that I just uploaded. Yes, you will break the tie. Which one do you like? Do you like thumbnail 1 or thumbnail 2? This week's My Wednesday Comics is about the death of Superman, that whole crossover event. And so I was working on the thumbnails and I realized like, oh, there's this great iconic image. Let me use the one with the cape on it. And then I forgot, oh yeah, there's the bloody S. And I liked how both of them turned out. So I decided to bring it forth to the chat for them to vote and say. And we are split down the middle right now. So we're waiting for the next person to show up in the chat so that they can break the tie. John, so close. There you are. All right, I'll save you some. Comrade Sammy is already petitioning for the one on the right. John says, I think I like the cape one. No chicken soup for you. Is that official, John? Is that official? Are you voting for number 1? We'll give you a chance. Give you a chance to back out of it. Oh, someone says correct. Correct. That is the right one. You sure? Are you sure, John? One on the left. If so, we shall make it so. It also affects my loading video for this video. So I do a little faded out version of the thumbnail and put loading on it. So if that's the case, John, we're going to go with number 1. Let me know. They're both really good, though. I like Comrade Sammy, but yes, the cape on. All right, it's official. It's official. Mark's music obsession also agrees. Huh, I wonder why. I wonder why. You guys are great. Okay, cool. So we'll go with that one. And that one was the one actually that I already roughly put in there anyway. So it was meant to be that one. Let me just get the rest of the time code of this. The exciting part of uploading a video is to get the rest of the time code. So that I can put it in the chapter markers. This one will be a little bit easier because it's just one book. Oh, I wonder if I should break it up between the different books. Okay, so that's 137. Does anybody have good plans for this weekend? Let's see, should I call this Death of Superman? These are all the little details that, does anybody really count? Oh, I know. I'll break it up as according to the, because there's individual issues. There's like a bunch of different issues and series that it goes through, which was incredible that, like, I think the most that I've seen for Marvel stuff, they do like X-Men, New Mutants, X-Factor, they all cross over. Sometimes they'll have a couple other books, but this one had at least like 6 or 7 books that it crossed over in. So that's a lot of interweaving, intertwining for a collector to follow a coherent story. Luckily, we have the graphic novel now that I can just read it from beginning to end, but yeah, it's a lot. Superman, the Man of Steel is the first one, and this is number 18. And then what's the next book? Stop it. The next one is John saying hi to everybody. Sorrow, next chicken noodles on me. Nothing too exciting this weekend. Too late, damage is done. I'll never recover. Too late, no backsies. All right, let's see. So this is the first one. This is issue 18, and then it's great. Start. I also think, like, well, one of the things I talk about is definitely the design of Doomsday. Is this the next issue? The design of Doomsday never grabbed me. Superman. This is just Superman number 74. It never grabbed me. So here's Superman. Okay, 1940. It never grabbed me, and so it was. Yeah, it didn't catch my attention, his design. I always felt like he was like, man, he's just kind of a guy with like bony knuckles. Superman, not Sumperman. Superman, number 74. And let's jump here. This is like watching paint dry, right, guys? So exciting. The inner workings of posting a video. Oh, wait, no, I skipped over something. What is the next issue after this? It's The Adventures of Superman. I like this one. Adventures of Superman was... So that's 74. A lot of these guys that were drawing on this book had a classic, I talk about this a little bit in the video, they have like a classic style as far as their drawing ability, how they draw characters, how they design stuff. Okay, The Adventures of Superman, and this is issue 497. Oh, what's the time code? 2507. And at the time, you know, competing with Image, those guys were like knocking it out of the park as far as style. They were just all about style. So it was hard to compete with that when you see this and you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. And then you see what the Image guys were doing, like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing. So really, like, I wonder how it hurt the sales of Death of a Superman with how good those Image guys were. Hey, Shelby, how are you doing? Happy Friday to you too. How you doing? We are talking about the Death of Superman. I would love to know what your thoughts are on that. You being such a comic book aficionado, just talking about how this is the new video I'll be posting up, or it's already posted, but we're just uploading it and talking about it as it's uploaded. But I'd love to know what you thought about this. I never read this before until just last week. So this is all new to me, but surprisingly, when I read it, I really enjoyed it. And I thought it was good. You know, it's good for what it is. There's obviously things that didn't appeal to me, still don't appeal to me, but overall, it was a lot better than I was expecting it. Superman Action Comics number 684 is the next issue. Here it is. This is 2704. Superman in Action Comics number 684. Stop hashtagging me. Okay, I'm going to put on some background music so that... Wait. Let me find a good one. Is this a good one? Nope. Ah, there we go. There you go. So it's not so quiet while I'm typing these things. Okay, Superman Action Comics. And then... yeah, so I actually... oh, funny enough. After reading this, like I said, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I took a little library pit stop before I started the stream, and I found this guy, Reign of the Superman. Again, never read it. I never was into all these versions. I thought all these versions of the Superman outside of Steel maybe were all kind of weird and lame-o. And I could never put my finger on it. They were just bad designs and kind of cheesy. And I got the gimmick of like, which one is the Superman? One of these is the real Superman, or is it the real Superman? But yeah, I just never really was into their designs. But I want to read it now that I read The Death of Superman. Actually, in between it is Funeral for a Friend, and I didn't find that one yet. I have to reserve that one for my library. But yeah, all good. Superman, the Man of Steel. I just did Action Comic. Okay, Superman, the Man of Steel is next. Oops. All right, here we go. Shelby says, I absolutely hated the Death Superman run. Total cash grab. Also, a great decision for DC to have made to suck some energy out of the room. Friends of mine were into it. Me, big no. But how did you really feel about it, Shelby? Like, I can't quite parse out if you liked it or not. No, I get it. I totally get it. If you haven't read it, though, just read it for the sake of the story and see if it... Just give it a chance. I did. Comrade Sammy talking about drawing again. John says, if you were on Discord, you could share your art. How do people share their art on Discord? Is it streaming also? It is, right? Or maybe that's Twitch. I get so confused with all the different mediums out there. But how do they do it on Discord? Just sharing it, like posting a picture? Or are they streaming it? Interesting. But yeah, Shelby, I mean, if you haven't read it at all, I'd be curious to see what you thought when you read it, but you probably will hate it. But that's okay. That's okay. I'll let you guys know what I think of Reign of Superman when I get to that one. That one I think I'm gonna not really like, just because all the different character designs and the ideas behind those character designs just felt so derivative. 32. But I'll give anything a chance. Superman, the Man of Steel. I would have loved to see, like with some of my favorite creators and writers and artists, if they were to do Superman, I would have loved to see what they did. Because none of them worked for DC, maybe because I was so into Marvel at the time, but all of those guys that formed Image were all on the Marvel train when they left. So it's probably why the talent pool was a little different for what DC had to offer at the time. John says Discord is a mix of several different media, as everything, right? Everything is the everything tool, the internet of all things. Shelby says, I was gifted the original trade paperback way back. Wasn't my cup of tea, but also I wasn't buying much DC product in my teens. The Art T-Bear covers were pretty cool. Nice inks. Why is that? Did they really have... So you're not the first person, you know? I had a similar experience. Why do you think that was? Was it because that just solely on the art appealed to our demographic, our age? I'm assuming we're probably similar in age, Shelby. Why is it? How were they able to just like dominate that market with, you know, between Marvel and DC? Before even Image came along, they were able to dominate that market. I think they just had the right editors in place to lock down the talent that worked, that was really resonating with our generation. Oh, John's talking about Discord here. You can be in video calls, post in rooms, channels, DMs. Each server keeps things. Yeah. It's the server is the big deal in Discord. So I had mentioned one of my friends a while ago when I first started this YouTube thing. He's the one that was just kind of encouraged me and gave me a lot of tips. But he has a YouTube channel called Byte Go, BYTE Go. And he was one of the main back-end engineers at Discord. Now, his content is totally different from any kind of content that I would like or understand, but he's grown it to like, I don't know, I think he's at like over 700,000 subscribers right now. So he's hit his audience. He knows his audience. But yeah, he worked at Discord, and I remember him talking about like the servers, and that's like a big deal for Discord. The art felt too old. Yeah, right? Like your dad's generation of art. And those guys they're solid artists. Like most of the guys in here are solid classical artists. But I think that style, that edge of the style of the Silvestris and the Liefelds and the McFarlanes, like that's what made us so excited about it. It's a shame, you know. I think out of all these artists in this particular compilation, probably John Bogdanov has the most what we would call style out of all of them. But even there, he's still pretty traditional. Yeah, and the rest of the guys, I think they were able to keep it consistent for the most part between these books as far as how Superman looked and how Doomsday looked. And maybe that's why it was a little bit boring for us as kids. I don't know. It's so interesting. It really, like, just hearing your reaction to it, Shelby, is almost identical to mine. So there's something to that. There's something in the ethos that communicated that to us and made us choose one over the other. Really interesting. Okay, so I think that's all my time code. Superman Man of Steel 19 was the big one, right? Oh no, there's one more. Then just Superman proper, number 75. That was the big issue. That's the one with the thumbnail that won today. Oh, so Shelby, not to screw up our vote anymore, but I'm just gonna do it just for the heck of it, just to make it more interesting. So I had the chat was voting over these two thumbnails: the classic Death of Superman cape, this one, or the bloody S. So these will be thumbnails for the video. The winner was number 1, this one with the cape, was the winner based on votes. But what would you vote, Shelby? Awesome One says, DC was so for the smarty pants using words. I was more into the action angst of Image and X-Men or Marvel. That's a really good point. I actually edited this out of my video, but one of the things I mentioned was, and you see that in this series, Awesome One, is it felt like it's still in the school, like a little bit older generation of everybody is monologuing and dialoguing so much in every panel. Like they have huge like paragraphs that they're talking about and explaining in the middle of like fighting each other. So there's this one panel, let me see if I can find it. Booster Gold is getting his face beat in by Doomsday. I thought it was hilarious. And it's just one panel, and you see this really close up fist of Doomsday about to punch Booster Gold in the face. Let me find it. And as it's like the moment right before he's going to get punched in the face, and Booster Gold is able to get out this entire sentence right before he gets clobbered. But it was so like comic, like it felt old school comic book to me, and I think that's what you're talking about, Awesome One. Like, where is that panel? Oh my gosh. I just saw it. Here it is. Okay, let's see. How can I show this? Wait, let me just catch up here. John says I'm only on about 5 different servers. Oh, Discord. John is at 5 different restaurants. Shelby says, I never got the Dan Jurgens hype back then. My dollars went to Image. Some of the X titles was about it. They were the absolute best in art. Yep. There you go. Maybe that's the summary right there. Both are good. Yeah, 1 is my pick. Nice. All right, 1 is official. Thank you. Thanks for the bonus vote on that one. Okay, let me see if, can I do this? Oh yeah, cool. Let me move my keyboard out of the way. Look, see, I wrote votes. Those are the votes. Look at this panel. Is that in focus? I can zoom in a little bit. Maybe it can be focused a little bit more. He said, like Doomsday's fist. And granted, I had some comments about this panel. Like, it just felt like he was just holding his fist there. It didn't really feel like, he didn't feel the force of the punch coming at him. But he's literally about to smack him or just decimate him in the face. And he says this whole thing, he's still coming, gotta get my force field up before. And it's like that, a lot of it. Like he's flying in midair, he was just knocked out, and he's having this whole conversation. And I was wondering, like, is that a DC thing? Is that a style thing? Like, what is it? But I noticed that a lot in this whole book. So it's funny that you brought it up. Awesome one. I can eat that much. Switch to this view, right? These are the guys that voted for the other one. That's okay. He can't win them all, Comrade Sammy. All right, let me get this last time code for the last issue, which was Superman number 75. I need my keyboard. Superman, and what was the time code on that one? That starts at here. 75, so 34, 31. And this is Superman number 75. And then the wrap up. Wait, Adventures of... Is that right? Superman... Oh, I missed Superman 74. Oh no, I got that one. Then Adventures of Superman. 497, that's right. Superman in Action Comics. 684, that's right. And 19, okay, cool. 75, and then the wrap up. Perfect. Save that so that the chapter markers are in there. Cool. One was my pick. Shelby says Jim Lee should redraw this entire Death of... Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Somebody should just... Yeah, that would be awesome. Like, if the creators, say like the Marvel creators or the Image creators, were to do Death of a Superman, how would they do it? That would be amazing. That's what I feel like they should do with... you know, they've been re-releasing the Amalgam comics. I'm not super into those, which is like where they're merging Marvel and DC characters into one character, kind of a team up or whatever. I'm not really into those concepts. It's kind of weird for me. They did have a couple issues of some stuff that was kind of cool. Oh, maybe that was Stan Lee Presents. But yeah, but I think a cool Amalgam Comics would if they got some Marvel creators to do DC stuff and maybe DC creators to do Marvel stuff, like to redo certain series. That would be cool. The youngins like the blood, they be vampires. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, this one, Death of a Superman, it gets brutal. Like it's not like Dark Knight brutal, but they get beat up quite a bit. I feel like Doomsday could have been even a little bit more scary. He's scary though in this, at least the way that they write him. He's scary. He's unstoppable. But so yeah, people are getting beat up. Guy Gardner gets his face wrecked. He's got like a swollen face half the time. So yeah. Awesome one says, I enjoyed Amalgam. Awesome. Which ones? Which books did you like? I think I'm getting some of those confused with when Stan Lee did stuff from DC and rewrote some things, unless those were also Amalgam. But I remember there was one time like Kevin Nolan did a Doctor Strange Fate. It was like Doctor Strange merged with Dr. Fate. That was cool, and probably because it was Kevin Nolan. I think they did some other stuff. I remember Adam Hughes did some covers for those, so maybe I'm getting this confused with a different one. Awesome One says, my favorite crossover was Image Valiant, I think. Oh, speaking of which, I have some of those books. Hang on a second. I just ran across those not too long ago. It's the right view. Is this one? So many views. Oh, I'm already in that view. This view. Yeah. Are you talking about these? Awesome One? I just found these in my box as I was going through it. So yeah, these were... I remember them not being so coherent, but it was cool. Like I was into anything that the Image guys were doing, so it was cool. I love this Quesada cover. I love that version of I think his name was the Atom. Was that right? Was it the Atom? Yeah. I love this cover. That's cool. Jim Lee. Yeah, I actually haven't looked at these in a while. John says, Comrade Sammy, that reminds me I was behind when Rocky played your name in the outro in the last stream. I didn't even realize until you said, there's my name. Oh, awesome. Oh yeah, I haven't even looked at these in a long time. Barry Windsor Smith, geez Louise. Is his name the Atom? Oh, Solar. That's right, Solar. Man of Adam. Thank you. You just read that. Thank you, Mr. Monkey Boggy, 1969. Deathmate. Yep. Let me make this a little darker. Totally random thought, but did you guys see Daniel Warren Johnson's book that just Kickstarter that just came out? I've talked about him quite a bit for Transformers, but he just came out with his artist edition for Extremity, his original book that they're coming out, and it looks amazing. I backed that one as soon as I could. It looks really good. This takes me back looking at all this stuff. Man, this is just Rob Liefeld. Like, it would be awesome to see him in this style do Death of Superman, or Jim Lee, right? Or whoever, that they had such a signature style and storytelling style. It would be awesome to see them do. One of the things, I talk about this in the video, the My Wednesday comic video for Death of Superman. What is this? Where did I get this? It's like a little insert. And this artist, oh, this is Bernard Chang. He was one of Valiant's main artists at the time. One of the things I didn't like pretty much across the board for Death of a Superman was the colors. Those, I don't know what happened with the colors on that, but there was absolutely no life in the colors of that book. They didn't do anything for me artistically. They're just kind of paint by numbers a little bit. So I was shocked about that. I thought, wow, even the artwork, if the artwork, the writing, everything stayed the same and you just had a great colorist on that, could change that book significantly. Awesome one says something about Liefeld is addicting. Yeah. It's like that feed into your childhood veins. So let's see. They had a bunch of guys on this. Was this before your time, Shelby? I think this was before your time. There's Frege. I know he's part of the CG crew. Jeff Matsuda, that guy went on to have an incredible career in animation, working on the Batman and I think a bunch of video game stuff. But I know he got to start here. I actually have his, what was the book he did? New Men. I found some issues I had in my old box of that. Like, this is so much more exciting, truth be told, right? Than like if Doomsday looked like this. I mean, I love this. I love this spread right here. I think this is a great spread, but just in comparison, like that was. Now this was probably a little later than 92. This was what? This is funny. Speaking of color, like this Deathmate came out in 1993, and this is 1992. Look at the difference between the colors in that. That's striking. Like, that's how ahead of the game Image was as far as the artistry and the colors. I mean, the computer coloring, like they were revolutionizing that stuff. And here's DC, they're like, well, we got the 6 vials of Doc Martens that we got to play with here, guys. Like, yeah, I was not impressed with the colors at all. I just feel like if this could be this, it doesn't even have to be like fancy computer coloring like this. Just the color theory in the colors for this was really blando. It was like paint by numbers, and so it took a lot of the drama and the excitement and the kind of mood out of this book. Like, I was able to look past it, but one of the panels that I pointed out specifically about the color was like, it just felt like everything took place at 12 noon on a sunny day, no matter what was happening. Like, where is that panel? I love this. I mean, that's a great drawing, great art right there. But the colors are just a mess. It's like, yes, these are Blue Beetle's costume colors. Yes, this is Maxima's costume colors. But yeah, I won't even call out the colorist by name. I don't want to poo-poo. They're working artists, working hard. But I don't know what happened. There's this one panel. It was like the sign, the whole, like, one of the things that Superman is doing is trying to stop Doomsday from going to Metropolis. He's trying to protect Metropolis. And Doomsday just keeps going and going and going. Oh, this was a horrible color move here. Like, I was like, who is this, like, guy from, you know, like the YMCA? What are those guys named? I can't think. The, oh my gosh. You guys know who I'm talking about. That group, that singing group, the YMCA singing group. I was like, what is he doing here? And I didn't realize that Doomsday was watching a TV and he saw this on TV based on the colors. Like, it looks so weird, right? Like, what happened? You could fix that. It's a bad story point. I mean, it's a crucial story point and you're not supporting it with the colors. I don't know if they were rushed. Like, that's not exciting. I know it's rubble, but here it is. This panel, this page. Okay, got it. This is the sign, Metropolis, got it. You're setting that up. Then Doomsday, like, crashes into it, and he's heading to Metropolis now. Then we get this really dramatic angle of this busted up sign. He's heading to Metropolis here. It's colored the same exact way as the sign up here. So like no mood or change in drama from here to here with colors. Yeah. Or this, like this guy's getting his neck snapped by Doomsday. And it's like sunny day. Everything's good. Everything's happy. Versus what we just saw here. Not to say the color theory was perfect on these, on these early image books either, but man, was it exciting. Where's that Bad Rock page? Did I miss it? Like that? Way more drama. I don't even know what Bad Rock is doing. He's just jumping through a window, but like, that's so cool. No wonder. I think I just answered my own question of why I never read Death of Superman. Just look at this versus that. Like, could be the same panel pretty much, but there's way more excitement here. Thank you, Mark's Music Obsession. The Village People. That's right. How did I forget that? I didn't want to embarrass myself by starting to sing it. Sorry, this is turning in. Now I'm curious to see what all these books look like. This is the Homage Studios. Oh yeah, this is an awesome one. Jim Lee, Brett Booth, Brandon Peterson, Scott Clark. I think J. Scott Campbell. Maybe he was going by Jeffrey Scott at the time. Greg Capullo, Jim Lee, Wills Portel. Yeah, this is the heavy hitting team. Infinitely more exciting. So I guess art was it, man. Art sold it for us little kids. These guys are talking a lot. There's a lot of monologuing going on, but dang it was so cool. This is J. Scott Campbell, early J. Scott Campbell. So cool. Nice stuff. I believe Scott Clark passed away. That book that I unboxed and flipped through on one of my streams, the Nick Manabat book, that same group, the Wildstorm fan group, whatever they're called on Facebook, they did one for Scott Clark as well, which I didn't pick up, but yeah, they have a whole one on his work as well. Yeah, this stuff, it's funny that this stuff only came out a year after what we were just looking at, Death of a Superman. And these guys were killing it with the artwork. Super fun. It's early Capullo. Capullo was already like, that guy's amazing. That guy's a machine, Greg Capullo. Right now, he's just cranking out. He's doing a lot of Marvel work now, which has not been announced, but yeah. Had a long stint on DC books, Batman books. I know he's working on his own independent book, Creech, again. He's bringing that back, and then doing a whole bunch of Marvel stuff. So I'm excited to see what he does with that. I could totally hear that. Awesome one. I'm not gonna even try and reproduce that, but I could totally hear that lyric. Color palette styling is first for me in a comic, then the art style, then oh, that's awesome. That's interesting to know that's the number one for you, color palette. Do you have Mark? Do you have favorite colorists that you follow along that same vein? Like if that's the first for you in a comic, do you have colorists that you follow? I'd love to know that. I definitely like Dave Stewart is one of those great colorists out there. Long going. What other colorists did I really love? I love Laura Allred, who is Mike Allred's wife, for his stuff. I love her coloring. I always think of Dave Stewart though, because he colors like everything. Jose Villarrubia, I believe how you pronounce his name. He's a really good colorist too. The guy who's coloring Rafael Grampa's stuff on Batman Gargoyle of Gotham, that guy's a great colorist. Who else? Oh, Jordi Belair, great colorist. She's doing a lot of the G.I. Joe, Duke. She did a lot of work with Declan Shalvey on his work for like Moon Knight and Injection. She's a great colorist, really good. And then there's another colorist of a book. There's one book I was gonna review. Her name is Munsa. I don't want to look at her name. Yes. This book I'm going to talk about, I'm going to review on a My Wednesday Comics, or maybe do on a Comics Now, I'm not sure. This is a great book called Friday. And this artist, Munsa Vicente, I'm not sure if it's a female or male, but she's a great colorist too. The artwork's awesome in this book. I don't want to flip through too much of it, but it's really good. It's kind of like, if you like the Hardy Boys, or it's like a young adult series, Hardy Boys, or what's another good, like Nancy Drew, but with an edge, like a lot darker than those books. That's a great read. Friday. There's 2 volumes out. I think there's a 3rd volume that they already finished. I believe they did it as a online comic first and then printed it, or a digital comic first and then printed it. Panel Syndicate, PANEL Syndicate. .com is their company. It's Ed Brubaker and Marcos Martin, awesome artists, and then this colorist Munsa Vicente. This is Mark Silvestri. So good. But this is not, who's the inker? Do they have an inker? It just says Mark Silvestri Oh, Bob Layton's the inker. Oh, that's an interesting combination. Don't normally think of Bob Layton as an inker for Mark Silvestri. I love that style, edgy. Is that the Image comic stuff? Yeah. I'm thinking Shelby is on Diaz or watching. Are you like the chat police awesome one? Oh boy. Occasionally Female Hockey Lady, Inside Out 2 is about a hockey girl. I didn't laugh once at trailer because I couldn't imagine girls playing hockey. Occasionally Female Hockey Ladies. So I haven't even watched that trailer. Is that out now? Inside Out 2 trailer? Did that just come out? I just heard that somebody I know is a voice in that. He's a guy, he's an artist by the name of Kirk Thatcher. He is a huge Muppet guy. He worked for Jim Henson. He worked on Return of the Jedi. He was like he was a young like talent at the time of Return of the Jedi. Obviously he's older now, but he got to be mentored by the greats in Henson's company. And so I just know him from mutual friends, and we've just gotten to know each other quite well. He's a hilarious guy. He was also on that, he was one of the judges on that reality show. Oh, dang, what was it called? It was a reality show for people who were doing makeup and like prosthetics. Was it Face Off? I think maybe was the name of that show. But he was one of the judges, Kirk Thatcher. Funny guy. But yeah, I think he's a voice on Inside Out too. So good for him. It just released too, huh? Let's go find it. I'm gonna go find it and we're gonna watch it. Okay. Oops. Let me switch This is just easy going Friday. I love looking at that Deathmate stuff, so thanks for bringing that up. Awesome one. All right, let me look up Inside Out 2 trailer. Entertainment Tonight. I don't want to watch Entertainment Tonight. Skip. Okay. Stop the music.
Coming to you live.
I hate Entertainment Tonight if they do this. Oh well. We'll just see how it goes. Oh, yeah, Face Off. Right. It was a good show. I liked it. And I was probably biased because my friend Kirk was on there. And actually, he came across as he was funny, but in person, he is hilarious. Like, you will pee your pants talking to him. He's just a funny guy. Oh, actually, Kirk Thatcher, this is his claim to fame, is Star Trek. I don't know. I'm not a Trekkie. The one where they came back, they actually came to San Francisco. They came back to Earth. The one with the whales. He's the punk dude on the bus that Spock, who's listening to the music, and they tell him, "Can you please turn down this music?" And he flips off Spock and Kirk. That's Kirk Thatcher. The funny story with that is he was actually on set because I guess he worked for ILM, so he was doing work for them, and he was on set. I can't remember. I think he was Leonard Nimoy's assistant, which is amazing. So he was on set at the time, and he was just a stand-in for that part. And then he did it during rehearsals or whatever, and they realized they couldn't find anybody better to do it. So he ended up being cast as the punk guy on the bus. And I think, am I just making this up? But I think he even wrote the music that was playing. So crazy. It's so Kirk. But even when he goes to cons now, he'll do signings for Face Off, and then as the punk guy, or not as the punk guy, but for his role as being the punk. I think it literally was like punk number 1 on the bus. And I think he even had a cameo in one of the recent Spider-Man movies. I want to say the first Tom Holland one. He had a cameo. He played like a hobo on the street with it was kind of a homage to him as being the punk. Let's see. Don't play a whole trailer, you might get struck. Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I won't play the whole trailer. Maybe I won't play it at all. Let's just jump through it and see. Thank you for the warning. I don't know these rules, so thank you. Mark's Music Obsession said, I'm not educated enough in the comic world like I am in music to know that many. I just always pick comics based on that criteria. Okay, cool. Good to know. It's a huge part of it. I mean, we take it for granted. You take it for granted when it's, when like the art is amazing and, that when it works. But when it doesn't work, it can really derail a book like Death of a Superman does, which I feel like, I appreciate Death of a Superman for what it was, and I did enjoy it. I honestly did enjoy it, reading it this time through. But I feel like if the colors were better, and I mentioned this in the video, like I almost am tempted to like try and recolor some pages to see if I can prove it. But I'm going to make a note for myself because I was going to look up some black and white artwork, see if I can find black and white pages from Death of a Superman that I could try and recolor. I guess I could strip out the colors. I could try and strip out the colors, but it would be cool if I could just find black and whites. So yeah, I think coloring is such an important part of the whole package. Getting struck for trailers is so wrong, John says. You want to build excitement. That's true. Entertainment people have poor business sense. Yep. Absolutely. Especially the ones that are lawyers. All right, so I'll just jump through it. Would I get struck even if it was like silent when I get struck? Huh. Oh, I guess here is the Here's the what if I play it at like 3 speed or 2 speed? I'll play it silent at 2 speed. They probably have some algorithm. I just want to hear this guy's voice. I wonder if this is Kirk's role. He didn't mention what role he's playing, but I bet I can tell if I hear it.
First impression. What do you mean we? I'm Envy.
No, it's definitely not Kirk. I wonder if he's a main character or a side character. Yeah, I don't think it's this guy.
What?
It's what you would call...
No, that's not Kirk. Oh.
Quarters embarrassment. Oh, we're doing a fit. No. Oh, nope. Going high. Oh, you got a real sweaty palm there, buddy.
I wonder if that's Kirk. No, I think the audio is what the strike bot operates off of. Oh, okay. Of course. Tech can change, so visual might be in the mix too. Okay, well, we'll jump around. We'll try and throw it off the scent. I wonder if Kirk is the big... I guess I can look it up, right? This is Kirk. He's a good dude. Oh yeah, he directed the Muppets Haunted Mansion. I forgot about that. Upcoming. Nope. Actor. Inside Out 2 just says voice. Let's see. I don't see him. So he might not be a main character. He's probably just a tiny, smaller character. I wonder if he's even listed. Yeah, I don't even see him. He's probably not even listed. Must be a smaller part. Oh well. All right, so... Hang on one second. I think my wife just got home. So I'll probably have to wrap this up soon. Okay, let's see. This is all set. I think this is done. I got my things in. I'll put in my links later. I can view it on YouTube already. More impact there. Just feels like it's a little tight chapters here in there in that space. Oop. In action, and then Superman. Yep. We get chapters to this issue. Yep. So there you go. The death of Superman. There we go. 3/8. Everything. Those details look good. Got Mr. Monkey Boy's comment in there already. Wait, that's a horrible face for me to be on. There, that's better. Did you say Lewis? Because that was anger. No, it wasn't. It wasn't, was it Richard Lewis? No, his name's Kirk Thatcher. Don't wrap up. Comedy Sammy will be... Did she go? Did she leave? If music wasn't so strike happy, I would probably have a huge channel. Yep. Very frustrating how they operate. Takes the fun out of it for me. I mean, it's all the like rights, and I'm sure if you dug down deep enough, it would make sense why they do that, because of all the copyrights. Like, you want the artists to get paid for their music. I know a lot of people listen to music straight off of YouTube. And so the artists want to get paid for the work that they put into it. I get that. I understand that. But the way the social community works and sharing things and enjoying things together, yeah, it makes it very, very difficult. I wish there was just a way to just get the artists money and let the fans still do it, and not just get struck and like banned and all that kind of stuff, but just a way to pay. I guess when it comes down to it, the corporations don't want to pay the money, don't want to pay too much money. Her name is in the credits. Never mind. Oh, I better fix that. I better adjust that because Mark was very, very. I'll do something. And there you go. Still here. The chat ninja is still here. All right. I'm going to wrap this up soon. Let me. Wait, talk amongst yourself. I'm going into preview mode. Hopefully, I don't blow anything up. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go into preview mode so that I don't do. Okay. And you guys are still seeing my face, not ruining anything. Gonna change this. And add this. And make a little edit to something later. Okay, save that. Yep. That's what I'm working on. I'm going to go back to live. Yes, nothing blew up, right? You can still hear it. Mark saying name in the credits. Yep. We're talking about we're kind of figuring that out. Trying to honor the conversation that was earlier between you and Comrade Sammy. Maybe I'm not here at all. All right, good. Well, that was a fun, meandering stream, you guys, but it was everything I was hoping it would be, which was being able to get that video up and also getting a chance to chat with you guys and connect with you guys and learning a little bit more about the history of why I didn't read Death of Superman just by talking it out with you guys. So super interesting, super awesome conversation. I hope you guys have a good weekend. What's up on my doc? So we did the comics now with Marty, which was really fun. We did that this week. Like I had mentioned earlier, I'm going to be experimenting with just doing more YouTube shorts, just kind of getting that more of those in the pipeline. I got to finish up Clobber in Time, and then I got a couple other books. I do have a couple comics that I picked up this week that didn't get into my Wednesday comics because of Death of Superman, but will probably be in next week. I will be hopefully visiting Mission Comics sometime next week so I can record the raw video for that and start editing that bad boy. And what else do I got? I'd hope to stream with Shant one of these days soon. He is so busy with fulfillment. I feel bad for the guy, but he's working hard to get that stuff out. And hopefully those of you who have ordered his book will have received it already. And what else? I gotta draw more. I gotta draw more for sure. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. That's too much. That's like 40 different things. So anyway, yeah, I will be taking a break this weekend and gearing up for the next week. But thanks everyone who came. Make sure I got everybody here. Comrade Sammy, John, Mark's Music Obsession was first in the chat. Awesome One was here. Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 was here earlier. American Discord Shelby was here with some great nuggets, as always, about the comic book industry. Did I miss anybody? I think that was it. John? Did I mention you, John? John, if I didn't, my apologies. Of course John was here. He came a little late, but he's always here. And I think that was it. So, yeah. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for hanging out. And make sure you watch the... there's Mr. Monkey. Make sure you guys watch the credits. And I'll see you around next time. Take care.